So we started thinking about our trip to Davis about 3 years ago. Since Joshua, Scott, and I have had a lot of adventures like camping or
road trips down south or up north or
road
places.
trips, just different places. We even took a project and built a garden for my mom in the backyard. So we've had all these different adventures along the way, but there's always something that we always want something bigger,
something more grand and adventurous.
Right. So our dreaming for Davis started about 3 years ago. We had we had taken a train up to Davis for a weekend.
For the weekend to hang out.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a place to stay on the last day, so we ended up walking around Davis until about 4 a.m. and then sleeping outside the train station for our train ride at 7 a.m.
So we'd only had about 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, and not even good sleep.
Yeah.
And on the train ride back, we thought, what if we walk it instead of taking a train or a car? Like, it's about 180 miles.
Mm-hmm. So even the conception of the idea started when we were a little half delusional and crazy, but yet we still needed some kind of adventure that was like that, and so we figured, why not? About 4 weeks ago, Sam texted me and he's like, "Scobbit, I need something dangerous and adventurous. You down to walk to Davis?" I'm like, "Heck yes."
And that was, we had talked to a lot of people about it. We got a lot of support for it.
And criticism.
A lot of criticism, but about a week ago, well, it's almost 2 weeks ago now, we never thought we'd make it out the front door, but we threw on our bags and we actually stepped out.
Yep, began our journey.
All the way to Davis. Dude, we're making a serious documentary. Today, we are walking
from Monterey, California
to Watsonville.
28 miles. The long journey will take us to Davis, California,
which is 179 miles away.
Which averages about 25 miles per day of hiking.
Mm-hmm. How far are you going with this, Christina?
Just one day.
Notice their shoes.
I have bananas.
Wait, what? Wait, shoes?
So even the first steps we took were really surreal. Having thought about Davis for the last 3 years.
And then finally actually getting out and doing it.
Yeah.
It was like totally surreal.
Yeah, the first steps when we made it around the corner, the first stretch, the first 2 miles, I thought, we're actually on our way. Like, we've only been 2 miles, we have 178 left, and we're feeling it already, but, we're actually on our way.
Our initial goal was to make it to Davis by only through method of walking, 179 miles. However, as we progressed, we kind of realized that was not entirely feasible.
Yeah.
We planned to walk 25 miles a day, although the first day we were going to walk 28.5 or 28.2 miles was our original intended destination. Mm-hmm. We're about a little bit more than 14 miles into it, which is over half a marathon. We've made it thus far, which alone is an accomplishment.
Yep.
How much farther we'll get, we'll see.
We're going all the way.
Oh yeah, I have confidence. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I think my body hates me.
What was that?
I think my body hates me. It hurts so bad. I've never been in this much pain walking before.
Really?
Really. 14 miles. 10 of those were in flip-flops and 4 of those were in these boots, and they were not made for walking.
Once we got to we only got to about 22.5 miles, and we were walking in the dark, and we were tired, sore, and miserable.
We were using our sticks as crutches because we could barely walk. That was day 1.
Yeah.
This is the end of day 1. With a freaking motel. I cannot tell you the last time I've been in this much pain.
Look at it. Yeah, initially we're going to use tents to to kind of rough it a little bit more, but my dad was like, I'm not too down with you using tents because there's a lot of danger, especially in the cities or even in the countryside.
And if we didn't have those the motels, there were more motels. We were kind of roughing it, as you'll probably see. They were having a bed, having like to wake up in the morning and be able to take a shower, because we couldn't move in the mornings. We would hike. The first day we hiked 22.5 miles, and we'd wake up in the morning and I had to pick my legs up and put them over the side of the bed because I couldn't do it. I couldn't. We were both so sore. It was ridiculous, and I don't know how we even pushed on.
And then the next day, we walked from Pajaro, aiming for Morgan Hill.
Right.
And we walked up through Watsonville, and then over Mount Madonna Pass. And once we got to the top of Mount Madonna Pass, we realized that we couldn't really go much farther because there was about 2 inches of shoulder and poison oak on either side. Mm-hmm. So at that point, we knew that we had to hitchhike. So that was the first time that we had to really compromise with walking, but it was for the purpose of maintaining our safety. So here's the thing. We want to hike down because it only takes like an hour and a half to walk 5 miles there. However, see that thing right there? There's the shoulder, and there's poison oak on either side. So, we're taking our chances. Good thing I have the thumb belt for it.
Yeah, your thumb's perfect. Quick, car coming.
Car coming. Oh, plenty of space. Wait.
She's stopping. Quick, run.
Go.
Thanks, Donna.
As we were walking down, or as we had come down from Mount Madonna, we decided to backtrack a little bit and go try some wine tasting, but that happened to be closed.
Yeah, there was a wedding, so the tasting was closed.
But yet, we decided to stop there to go to the bathroom and fill up our waters. But while we were there, we happened to run into Alex. We just ran into our junior high youth pastor on our way to Morgan Hill.
In Gilroy.
Yeah.
I've never been to Gilroy before. Middle of nowhere.
We got dropped off over there by Donna, and then we're like, oh hey, there's a wine tasting place over here, possibly dinner and a bathroom. So we come over here, no dinner, bathroom, but
Alex.
This
guy.
Yeah, what the heck. So
nuts.
And I've been praying for you, both of you, as you've walked for the last 40 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's funny that I get to see you now.
And he had never been to a shooting with his wife before. He'd never been in that area before. And we just happened to backtrack.
Yeah, we actually walked backwards on our trip, which is something we tried to never do.
After we ran into Alex, we decided to keep walking 7 miles to the nearest city, which was Morgan Hill.
Right.
And we were feeling pretty sore and pretty tired, so we decided to try and stop by and stay at someone's house.
Yeah, we called it the let's help someone exercise their hospitality. Let's knock on some doors.
Yeah, which we said that we were going to do.
Yeah,
so
we
we figured that we would try it out and see how things could go.
Yeah, we had to at least try it once, and
that was the only time we tried it.
Yeah.
Now I'll take a visit.
Like my
Wait.
camera case?
Look tall now. Look tall and proud. Shut it.
I'm trying to change it over to. Oh, it's still recording.
This guy comes out and he has hair down to his back, just ponytailed,
Thick, curly mustache.
fat stash.
Yeah, it was.
And we're like, "Are you the chief?"
With a
He's
beer
like,
in his hand.
Yeah, he has a beer in his hand, and he's like, "Are you the chief?" And because I'm trying to fix the situation, and he's like, "Yep, yeah, I'm the chief."
You're like, are you guys backpacking? Are you guys hiking somewhere?
Yeah, you guys are hobos. You guys are hobos, right? And he just started cursing. He's like, "That's awesome!" And he just kept going and going, and he was obviously not all there.
Yeah.
Of course, let's talk to the chief of this hillbilly weed-smoking, beer-drinking clan.
Yeah.
So we turn around and start going back to where he pointed us to.
And we're like, no. And as we walk by, we're like, no, we're not staying
We're not
here.
staying here.
No,
we looked at each
we gotta
other and
get out.
said, we have to leave. Day 3 was probably our second longest day. We walked about 17 miles from Morgan Hill to San Jose.
It was specifically Edenvale.
Edenvale, San Jose. The southern tip of San Jose, right where the 101 runs into it.
Yeah. One of the biggest dangers that we came across was cars. Initially, I thought that our trek would be across countryside, but really, what Google Maps had given us for the walking route was along roads primarily. And so there's a lot of danger with cars, walking along some highways with very little shoulder, if any at all.
Yeah.
On winding, sharp turns, and so that was probably the biggest danger.
Ow! Oh, it kind of feels good to put all your weight on one leg for a little bit.
Mission complete.
That was the most pain I've ever been in climbing a fence. Ever been climbing a fence.
Oh, sweet mercy from heaven.
That was the third day. And then the fourth day, we walked to Laney's Starbucks, which was about 4 miles away. And at that point, like, we were...
Yeah, we woke up on day 4 and thought, oh, it's only 4 miles, and we're glad it's not that much.
But it was a pretty rough 4 miles. We walked past a bunch of car dealers with a lot of nice soft grass, and that was one of the only comforts that day, or at least on walking, because otherwise it was terrible.
So we had that was day 3. We ended up meeting Lainey, and we were able to get a ride from her, which literally saved the trip. We wouldn't even made it halfway.
No.
Had we decided to try to walk it. We would have called it probably the second day in San Jose. Getting to Martinez, we actually got to cross the Martinez Bridge. We pushed ourselves to get across to Benicia by the end of day 4.
Yeah, so day 4 we walked a total of about 9-10 miles.
Yeah, I'd say between 9 and 10 miles. Even though they were small distances after the first day, they added up. And that was, so day 4 we ended up walking about that much.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in a motel in Benicia, and very out of the way house. It was pretty much a house with a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy. We got some ice cream too on the trip, just to keep our spirits high.
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins. I freaking dropped my ice cream cone.
Still ate it though.
I ate it in the sidewalk. But I ate it.
Like a boss.
So I'm dirty already, so I figure, why not get dirtier?
Yeah.
Hey, it's had a couple rocks in it. It's good for the teeth, I hear. Right, Mom.
Next day, we walked another 4 miles to a nearby church that we'd seen on the map that was one of our original stopping points.
Right.
That we wanted to make it to.
One of the biggest disappointments on our trip was the lack of
hospitality
from churches. We had called probably...
availability.
Yeah, our availability. We probably called over 20 churches, maybe 25 churches.
At least.
We would call these churches during office hours, and they wouldn't answer their phones. We weren't able to stay at any churches, but we ended up staying at this church. Even though we had called them and asked them for a place to stay, and we wanted a place to stay, even if it meant sleeping, outside or under an awning or something, we just wanted permission. They hadn't answered. They hadn't called us back in 2 days. We said, we can walk there, and we'll walk in during office hours.
But nobody was there.
Nobody was there. So we get to campus. The campus is empty. All the buildings are locked.
Except for one.
Except for a bathroom. And then
conveniently.
We just say, what are, we can't go anywhere else. We can't get a ride tonight.
Yeah.
If we keep walking, there's another about 19-mile stretch between us and the next city, or we can backtrack 4 miles and stay in Benicia again. So we decided to sleep outside at this church without permission.
This is where we slept last night.
Yeah.
Outside.
In the cold.
In the cold.
mummies
Yeah.
on the concrete.
Just like in Joshua.
Just like
Actually, in Joshua, we had mattresses.
Yeah, we had mattresses. This was nothing. The sun's coming up in a little bit. It's gonna be awesome.
From there, we got to spend the day with my dad's friend Barry from college, who lived in Fairfield. He was able to come down and rescue us from the church, and because we weren't really able to walk much farther that day
at all.
You know, by strength we would have, but just our injuries were too horrendous at that point. So he picked us up, and we spent the day with him in Fairfield. It was a nice day of rest to hang out with him and his family.
Yeah, his family was super nice and really accommodating. They took us to dinner. We got to go see a movie and just hang out with their kids, and it was a good day.
The last day of our journey, our last night was spent on the floor, and now we are about to go to Davis via car because we're too sore to walk.
And then day 7, he drove us. Well, at this point, we walked about a total of 70 miles.
We're about 70-ish, 70 and a half miles.
Yeah. And so we only had about 4 or 5 more miles to complete our goal.
To reach our 75-mile marker.
So what we did was we had Barry drive us out to Davis, and then he kind of backtracked about 4 or 5 miles out in the countryside, and we finished off our trip strong.
Well, we finished it strong, but not like physically. We
finished it with, high spirits, and we
completed our goal. We were thinking about it. We were like, if we were at 68 miles, I don't think we would have pushed for the 75. But the fact that we were only 4 miles away from our target, like our goal of 75, we decided that
we made the effort.
Yeah, and I talked to Scott. I was like, Scott, are you going to be able to walk that far? Because I think I could do it, and I was a little self-confident. And as soon as we started walking, I was like, we're half a mile into it, and we're both like, we've got another 3.5 miles to go before we even get to the city.
We've just done about 74-ish, 73.5 miles of total walking, and we're almost into town.
We were able to do it, and reaching that 75-mile marker was really encouraging. I looked down at the pedometer and saw we had 4.00, so we had walked 4 miles. And on top of the 70 and a half, we had that pretty much put us at 75, and we walked a little bit farther after that, trying to find different spots in Davis.
Yeah.
So we walked over 75 miles total on this trip, and that was a goal that we both set early on, and it was super encouraging for us to accomplish that.
Yeah.
And actually reach that goal.
Wow. Look at this. Who said the road to Davis wasn't paved with grass?
So that was the last day. That was day 7. Luckily, my younger brother Rocky was willing to drive the 2.5 hours. What had taken us 7 days to walk and get rides took him 2.5 hours of a car. So he was able to come and meet us in Davis. He got lunch with us.
Hello, sirs.
Hey. You come to rescue us? Oh, my hero.
Wow.
Yeah.
Grizzly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been one of those trips. Ready to get a hamburger?
Let's get a hamburger.
Some brews.
That's really good.
how far you can go is if you push those boundaries and if you push those limits, and we push them, physically, and we got to see, what we're capable of, and now that we know, we can use that and plan better. The question is asked of us, would you guys do this again? I think we would both answer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna shoot for it, probably within the next year.
Yeah, next summer, hopefully, Lord willing.
Lord willing.
What?
I hurt my foot.
Which one?
That one. So I'm walking
That foot.
I'm walking with 2 sticks.
She's using both her walking sticks. We're making it work.
We've been walking for 22,000 miles so far. And we've made it in like 2-3 hours.
This is really just day one. We're only 10 miles out of where we started from.